Mighty here. Partner in crime has finally sat down. Maybe get started. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Michael the Comic Nerd. With me is Grant today. Talking about the big December releases this month. Well, like 5 million apparently.
Yeah.
Which is The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, which is the one that everyone's kind of been looking forward to all year. So it's finally here. I have a feeling you and I disagree on this to some extent, because I really liked this movie. I have a feeling you did not.
It was decent, but I think I had my hopes set a little bit too high.
Maybe that was the case. I mean, it's been a long time since I've read the Hobbit books. That means that I can still tell what they added. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, and that was my main issue with the movie. It's just like, there was so much filler that it bogged it down so much. Kind of like the first one, although, admittedly, I'll give them credit to this. Compared to the first movie, they got to the meat of things a lot more quickly.
I said this, actually I never released this video, but I did record a vlog for The Hobbit last year. I just got too lazy to upload it. But I actually really liked the first Hobbit movie too. See, like, I guess The Hobbit's been one of those series, like, especially coming back from the Lord of the Rings series, it has such a huge different feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
Like, if you're expecting that Lord of the Rings movie, you're going to be hugely disappointed. I think that was the problem with the first Hobbit movie.
And, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, as you said, it's like, the source material has a different feel, but it's like with this one, you can tell they're trying to match with Lord of the Rings. It just doesn't work.
I don't know about that necessarily. I will agree that doesn't work quite as well, but I'm not gonna say it doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can tell some elements are leaning into the third movie, and I'm really curious to see what they'll do with that, because that's pretty much all new fucking material.
No, it's not. Probably a good deal of it's going to be, but it's like this is what I heard, is that basically the first two movies are going to be the first book, and then the third was going to be original material. No, they kind of lied to us in that regard.
Yeah, a little bit. But I guess kind of what the movies kind of seem to be gearing towards is the first movie was getting close to the mountain, the other one was dealing with the dragon in the mountain, and the third one's going to be...
Still dealing with the damn dragon!
Well, yeah.
Spoiler!
Yeah, definitely. But I'm kind of curious how long they can really stretch that out in the beginning of the movie.
I don't know, but it's like, I'm tired. It's the exact same crap that was going on with, like, the second, third Matrix movies. Where it's just like, they could have combined the two, cut out so much crap, it would have been great, but...
See, I don't know. I kind of like some of the extra stuff. Like, I kind of like the whole Necromancer subplot. First, like, one big upgrade from the first Hobbit movie, I don't know if you noticed this as much as I did, but the CGI looks a lot better in this than it did in the first Hobbit movie. I
thought it looked pretty decent the first time around, but I do admit, yeah, they did make some improvements, and holy crap, did Smaug look...
Oh my god! We'll get to him, but oh my god. I got chills. But,
yeah, throughout the entire time, it's like they're just like...
I know! That was like the one... so fucking...
Hey! It went from 3D to no D! No, we didn't actually watch it in 3D. We saw it in 2D.
I didn't want to pay the extra money, and I didn't want to sit there and, like, watch my eyes bleed for 2 hours and 45 minutes. But anyway, I guess let's go with the story. From what I can remember from the book, again, it's been a long time, it follows it pretty well. Not including the extra stuff. But, the original Hobbit was kind of a very basic story. Going back to it. I would say it wasn't a good story. It was a great story, but it was a very simple story.
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of missing from this. It's like, that's what they kind of lost in translation. It's like, it's not, as I said, as a book it worked fine as a simple story. It probably would have worked fine as well, assuming they made it one film, maybe 2 at the most, but...
Yeah, like, the issues you're bringing up are mostly just issues that clearly have issues with the execution in general.
Pretty much.
So, like, that's a movie by itself, though. Like, given what they've done with it, and I'm sure, like, The Hobbit stuff was more executive decision than it was, like, Peter Jackson's decision to make it 3 movies. The original idea was to make it 2 movies, then they expanded to 3, kind of randomly. So I'm willing to bet that was more executive decision, because they want to milk it and make it another Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Look at how much Warner Bros. Affects pretty much every fucking thing. Look at Batman vs. Superman, for example. It's a good example. That was not their original idea going into it. Warner Bros. Has a way of kind of fucking things up.
You can tell they kind of wanted to do that for a while, considering the little Easter egg they had in I Am Legend.
Point doesn't change the fact that Zack Snyder did not want to use Batman. He made it pretty clear in other interviews. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the story pretty much follows the book, which takes place shortly after the events of the first movie, where they're running away from... Actually, this part wasn't in the book. where they run away from like the pack of orcs led by the pale orc, whatever the hell they call him, with the one arm. I liked him better in this movie than I did in the first one. He's still not really given much to do though. He's still just kind of there. Either way, the CGI looks a lot better on him. He looks less like a Ken doll. Like very evil Ken doll.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, there were still a couple moments where it looked pretty...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's some moments still there, but it looked a lot better than it did in the first movie. Because that was one of my big issues with the first movie, is the fact that all the CGI creations looked like CGI creations.
Yeah, funny was, like, I saw the original one in the high frame rate 3D, and, like, I actually thought it looked pretty decent for the most part.
See, I saw it in 2D again. That one, that's just the average quality, but it's like it was really obvious. Like the Goblin King was very obviously a CGI creation. The Pale Orc did not look like he was even remotely close to actually there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not saying it's perfect. It's second one, but it looks 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like they really spent some time to polish that up. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
But so they run away from those guys and they run to like one of the skin. Was the Skinwalker in the book?
I don't really remember. Then again, it's been a long time since I've read the book.
Okay, if you know, say in the comments. But they run to a skinwalker and turn himself into a big-ass fucking bear. Yeah. And take shelter with him for a while. Again, it's almost like the adventures of the Hobbit and the dwarves kind of for like the first half of the movie until they get to the mountain. After which point, shit goes crazy. Yeah. One of the big changes from the book is, I actually didn't realize this until I saw it on the internet, it's like there's actually no female characters in the Hobbit storyline. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. So that being said, I kind of understand why they added Evangeline Lilly as like the first and only time in like Orlando Bloom's history that he's ever been friend zoned.
Pretty much.
But they end up in. Long story short, they go into a dark forest. They get captured by like wood elves, pretty much.
Now that did happen in the book.
That one I remember, because the whole barrel rider thing was a big thing for the book. It was in that. Larry Nimoy song. That's how I know it was in the book. Bilbo Baggins, bravest little hobbit of them all.
Oh, God. Oh, Nimoy, you're a great man, but even you can make mistakes.
The riddle with Gollum. Magic ring he stole.
Okay. Oh, let's get back to it. But,
sorry. Yeah. I couldn't resist. Anyway, so they get captured, and Legolas is, again, another big change in the books, was that Legolas is among these dwarves, and he has a crush on like the captain of the guard, played by Evangeline Lilly. And she didn't do much, but for what she was given, I thought she did a good job. Yeah. The one I think stand out, especially in the third movie, because you know they want to do more with him, is the King Elf, which is played by the guy from Pushing Daisies.
That's where I saw that guy from.
Yeah, he's the main guy in Pushing Daisies. So he played. I think that character has a lot of potential to be something really interesting, because you can tell they're going for the kind of evil elf guy. Yeah. From the short, but he does it so well in the short scenes he has. I'm really curious to see what they do with him in the third movie.
If I remember, it's more like elves got screwed over by Oakenshield, and then they get into a huge fight. And
yeah. Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Because he doesn't come across as evil as... I mean, like, he does want to get stuff done in his own end, but it's like... One of those things where, like, he makes a point that dwarves are kind of dicks.
They are kind of dicks, but he seemed kind of like a big dick himself. So yeah. Oh, there's a little quote to put under the YouTube channel. He's a dick, but he's a bigger dick. So there. Anyway, so eventually they're all captured except for Bilbo, who grew some fucking balls in this movie. In comparison to the first one, like in the first half hour, he's killed like 10 giant spiders.
Yeah, that's one of the things I actually did like is that they're kind of showing it's like maybe not necessarily him finding stuff like on his own, but also the fact that the Ring's also kind of had that corruption happening on him already.
Yeah, you can tell like there's signs of a little like the obsession kind of kicking in early on too. And there was one like fun little nod because like the Hobbit original story had a lot of talking animals. Yeah. Like, the orcs were pretty much introduced in the first movie just so the wolves didn't have to talk. I'm fairly convinced that's why they were introduced. And here, like, the spiders do talk, but it's only after he puts the ring on, which I thought was kind of clever.
Yeah. Well, even then, it's like, after he takes it off, you still hear them talking.
True, yeah, for some parts, not too much, though. Even then, I still thought it was kind of a cool idea, like, maybe it's the ring's power that can, like, translate the darkness kind of thing. I don't know if that was in the book. I doubt it was.
It was not, because the ring never had any corruption power.
Yeah, that wasn't until Lord of the Rings came out that he decided to tie them together. But No, I was like, I actually thought that was like kind of clever if that's what they were going for, because like that's kind of unique, because that's like the ring is like pure evil essence pretty much, and like it can like understand other kinds of evil. I thought that was kind of clever. Like again, I would like to see more of that, but that's a whole other thing. And then there's that kind of odd moment when after like Bilbo like freaking just beats the crap out of that trapdoor spider, where he's like he gets kind of weird moment like where he like watches his hand shake and like covers his mouth. Was that like he's realizing like what the ring was doing to him or something?
He covered his mouth because he's about to throw up.
Oh, that too.
But yeah, it's more like his hand. It's more like that idea, like when you do something, when you realize you've done something terrible, your hand like just starts to get that jittering.
Oh yeah. But again, like Watson here does a very good job as Bilbo.
Yeah.
Like I think still he's great. And Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh my Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh. I'm sorry. I just like completely lost it when he came on screen. I just like I almost like yelled out in like scurrilous delight because I've quickly become like a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan this year, and I can't wait to see what else he does. Sherlock next year. But anyway, so Bilbo helps him escape by the whole barrel riding thing, which was just a really fun sequence. Come on, you gotta admit that was a lot of fun.
It was. I mean, it's just funny seeing how like the fat one in the barrel just coincidentally crushed every orgasm.
I know, that was funny. Come on, and that being said, also kind of
stay on target. Stay on target.
So like, and the number of barrels like kind of kept randomly changing too.
Yeah, I think that
like, you and I both noticed that.
Yeah, it was like that bugged the crap at me. It's just like, wait, where did that empty barrel come from? Where did the other empty barrel come? Ow! Where do these empty barrels keep coming from? They're all filled up.
And conveniently, they had the exact amount of barrels they needed by the time they got to the boat, which I thought was also kind of interesting coincidence. But either way, and there's also like some kind of love plot between Evangeline Lilly's character and like one of the dwarves. One of the dwarves I actually like. What's his name again?
Keeley.
Keeley. I like Keeley.
The photogenic dwarf.
Of course. And they had that Gimli Easter egg in there. Yeah. Which I don't know if I like that or that was almost a little too kind of throw it in there.
No, that's actually true though.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh crap! I forgot about that. It's actually kind of dark when you think about it. Like 3 of the 12 dwarves that are in this movie are in the tomb in the first Lord of the Rings movie, where Gimli finds the tomb. Like 3 of the dwarves are in there.
Yeah, so I can't remember which ones though.
I think it was Keeley one of them. It was the guy with the book.
No, it wasn't Keeley.
No, it wasn't Keeley. Maybe
it was. I know what you're talking about. It's one thing I have to look it up later because I know. Because I have a vague recollection of a couple of the ones that
I think the guy
make it by the end of the movie.
The guy with the white hair and the beard, that he's in the tomb.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's him. And another guy with the book is the other guy. I'm sure one of the other guys. Either way, irrelevant to the case at hand. Well, not entirely. You know what I mean. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
I'm in a weird mood today, as usual. It's been an odd day. Anyway, finals. Blame it on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, back to what we were saying. So they have. Meanwhile, the Pale Orc is called up by the Necromancer, who is, spoiler, really Sauron, who, if you ever read the appendices or looked it up online, you knew was kind of already the case anyway. So this is really no surprise there. Also played by Benedict Cumberbatch, by the way. So he doesn't really have much to do. Again, you can tell they're saving that for the 3rd movie.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if the Necromancer is Sauron or he's bringing him back.
No, it actually is Sauron. Oh. Like, that's confirmed in the books. That was something that Tolkien wrote in, after he connected the Hobbit.
Oh.
And then what is that? Like, Gandalf pretty much did go off and fight the Necromancer, who was really Sauron before he, gained full power.
Yeah, which leads to one of my other problems. Like, this one, okay, clearly, this feels more like an after-the-fact thing that, Tolkien probably did too.
Yeah, Tolkien did.
But it's just like, okay, in those regards, why didn't you fight this over the 70 years that Bilbo gets older?
I guess we'll wait to see the 3rd movie. I don't know, I was kind of wondering that myself. I was like, it's kind of interesting no one brought this little story up by the time the Fellowship came along. Like, well, can't we just go back to the fortress and kick their ass again? As Gimli talks, I don't know that. So, the Pale Orc has to, take command of the new army that the Necromancer / maybe Sauron built up. And he hires the final boss battle orc. What's his name? Borg or something like that? Or is that the Star Trek thing?
Borg Star Trek, I think it was... I can't remember.
Who gives a shit? It's a know-nothing character. He's there to force someone to fight at the end of the movie. That's all that is. And it was a pretty good fight, to be fair. But, anyway. He sends them to go chase after the orcs, the dwarves as well, since he can't do it anymore, since he's stuck leading this army thing. And when the dwarves escape into the river on the barrels, that's when the orcs come in, and they have a big, huge fight between them, Evangeline Lilly's character, whose name I forget, and Legolas.
Toriel.
Toriel, that was it. Alright. And Toriel, and they have the big tussle. And that was probably one of the most fun action sequences in the movie.
It was.
Like, it was just a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun with the barrel concept. And there's a part where, like, the fat dwarf...
We already talked about
Yeah, we did talk about that. It's worth bringing up those for context. Where, like, he falls out of the river, and then he starts bouncing from, like, one group of orcs to the other conveniently. And then after the end, he stops rolling, and just fucking just bursts his arm out of the barrel and just beats the crap out of everyone that way. I was like, it was just really fun. I had fun with this movie. At the end of the day, it's not a perfect movie. It's not as good as, like, the Lord of the Rings movie. It's better than the first one, but it's still far from perfect, but it's still fun.
Usually. It was fun. As I said, it got to the point where, like, that was my issue that I kind of got from the first movie, is that a lot of those moments is like, if it wasn't filler, they kind of dragged on a bit too much. Like, that stuff with Smaug was great, but then after a while, it's just like...
I admit they did drag that on for too long.
Yeah. It's like, okay...
I really enjoyed that third act final confrontation thing. Cause I know for a fact that was in the book, and that always pissed me off as a kid.
Wait, what?
Like, the dwarves and Smaug never had, like, a final confrontation at all. They just... Smaug just went off to the lake town. I don't think he even saw the dwarves in the book.
No, it was just Bilbo.
Yeah, it was just Bilbo. So it's like, I kind of liked seeing that interaction finally. But,
yeah.
So I'm glad they added that, because that was one factor in the book that always kind of pissed me off. It's like, well, wait, they go through all this trouble and they're not even going to, like, fight the dragon? You know? And, of course, it's kind of like the David and Goliath story. They're always fun to watch. It's like the underdog story. Everyone always enjoys those. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead of time here. So they eventually find their way to Lake Town, where they introduced to Bree, was it?
No, Bree was a town. The guy's name is Bard.
Bard, that was it. And again, I know why they're basically including this backstory to him, because in the book, the character, I don't even think the character has a name. He's just a nameless archer dude who kills the dragon with one shot.
Yeah. And
that's not really interesting for a movie, especially a movie. Whereas, like, they go for all this time to fight a dragon. Who kills him? Some random dude.
Yeah.
That's not
Well, at the same time, it's like the guy still feels kind of random. It's like...
I'm not saying they developed him well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know why they added him.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, too. It's just...
Because I will admit, I didn't really care for him about his backstory and like that, because it wasn't very interesting. They might as well replace him with Legolas, because he was kind of the same goddamn character.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, so I admit, that bugged me too, and the whole... like,
two-dimensional evil...
oh my god.
Thing.
I love Stephen Fry. Don't get me wrong, I love Stephen Fry. I know peoples. But...
Not you, audience members, although we do say hello to you. There's some other people in the room.
Yes. But it's like, I mean, I love Stephen Fry. He knows how to do funny. He's a very smart, intelligent man. But he's not really given much to do here. He's just a stereotypical, I'm the rich king and they're the poor common folk.
Well, yeah, it's not just him, but like, as I was saying, that's kind of the case with a lot of these characters throughout the entire movie.
I don't know about that necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, the king and his obviously evil servant with his all-black clothing and his weird unibrow thing. Yeah.
But, sorry, let me rephrase that. A lot of the filler characters.
Like which ones, for example? Except for these characters here.
Yeah, even then, Toriel, she doesn't, you know, like, she gets her kind of moments, but, like, doesn't really do much in terms of, like, except for some story change. Like, you can tell they had to change the story to give her more stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, okay, thing that we didn't mention, Keely ends up getting shot with a poison arrow.
Yeah.
And this results in a few of the dwarves being left back in town and having a bunch of other crap going on. And, you know, of course, that never happened in the book. It's just...
That's filler. Yeah.
They all went up there. Legolas, he's just kind of... Well...
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He's there to fight the evil final boss orc at the very end.
Yeah.
Which again, like that being said, it is filler. Yes, I will agree on that. But it's the same kind of reason why I liked the first Hobbit movie. Was it's kind of cool to see things we are very familiar with in new ways.
Yeah.
Like the whole orc home invasion thing. It was kind of fun to see the orcs do that kind of thing. We never saw that in the original Lord of the Rings movies. And it kind of gave them a scarier element, like they're the boogeymen. So it's like, I kind of like seeing that. I kind of like seeing Legolas actually have a hard time fighting something. Because we never saw that in Lord of the Rings either. He took on a fucking elephant like it was nothing.
That's true.
So again, it was kind of cool to see him actually struggle with something.
Yeah, with only one thing.
Still, it's better than nothing, which is what the original Lord of the Rings gave us. So it's like, again, it's like that. I like seeing, like in the first, The Hobbit, I like seeing Saruman before he was evil. I like seeing, like, this world before it was corrupt. It's that same kind of thing. I like exploring this world and seeing the different things that we've grown up on in different situations. And I think that's kind of where my enjoyment kind of comes from. Even if, admittedly, a lot of it is filler.
Oh. Speaking of which, that's the other thing. Okay, like I said, in terms of the other characters that, on topic of, like, you don't really do much. Mm-hmm. Obviously, as you mentioned, was it the Skinwalker?
Yeah.
Nothing really there. Redagast, once again, not really doing anything. Even Gandalf didn't really do much. It's like, I'm gonna go here and light up some hallways. Even my attacks! I can brighten this staff up! It's just like...
I don't know, I kind of liked like his little fight with the Necromancer towards the end of the second half.
Behold, my brightest staff! It's like...
Oh, like he did anything different. I mean, the only difference is like admittedly he had that awesome fight and like while falling down with the Balrog, but...
Yeah, at least then he used a fucking sword and some electricity to take that mother down.
Oh, yeah.
And then like, I'm sorry, it's just a huge hulking Balrog is a lot more threatening than a shadow that just kind of...
I'm gonna make an intro every time I have a video with you. Just go going. It's the Granta one.
It's like Stephen King and Family Guy. It's like, yeah, can I please have that lamp back?
Now I'm gonna hack your phone one day. I'm gonna make that your ringtone. It's just you going. See, that's the sound you make, Sauron.
But
like this is me. Wah, wah,
yes.
wah. This is the song. Me. We summed up the whole fight right there.
But now I think
I'm never gonna be able to think of it any other way now.
Oh my god, I killed
Just me. Okay.
Now you realize how stupid that scene was.
I'll concede that point. I'll concede that. I think I disagree with you on how good or bad the execution was, but I will agree that you're right on that particular point. Alright, now let's talk about the part that we both loved, and easily the best part of the movie, no matter what way you look at it, is when they finally get to Lonely Mountain, and they get to Smaug.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, I heard people say, like, Smaug is, like, best part of the movie. I didn't realize how much they meant that until I saw it.
I'm not gonna lie, that I would have loved to have seen in 3D.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. But
it's like...
It is amazing.
Yeah, just... The CG is great, just combined with Cumberbatch's, performance. It's absolutely threatening.
It is unbelievable just how well they pulled this off. Because this is obviously, like, the big thing. Like, the big issue, especially a lot of fans movies, like, how do you make dragons interesting again? Because they've been done so many times. And here, just from the design and the way he moves and the way he talks and the way that everything he does just pursues this huge, incredibly intimidating persona, and just even the dialogue, everything about him is just close to perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, this is like easily like one of, if not the best characters I've seen all year.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just, like, they do a great job. It's like, the voice, the motions, the style, and the personality just all meld together so well.
And of course, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. Even when his movie sucks, he's still great in it. Well,
or so we're told.
Yes, we never saw it because I think we got really busy around then or something.
It didn't really pop up around here.
Yeah, it's been a really hectic past few months. Forgive us if we forgot to do some stuff. Anyway, but it's Cumberbatch. He's amazing. As soon as like he's like appeared on screen. What are you laughing about?
Sorry, just...
Alright, let's reenact Gandalf versus Sauron right now. Meh! Meh! Meh!
We found something that outweighed the awesomeness of... we found something that outweighed the awesomeness of Smaug. It's just the ridiculousness of that scene. Okay, back on track. We're sorry, just...
Okay.
Yeah, back to Smaug.
Smaug is just from the moment he entered on screen, when Bilbo is in the treasure room looking for the
Arkstone.
Is it Arkstone or is it Arkhamstone?
Arkstone. This isn't a stone from an insane asylum in Batman's universe.
So I could have sworn I had
Arkenstone.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Alright. But the Arkenstone, and he's looking for that. And by the way, I also kind of liked how they kind of gave more. I don't know if this is in the book or not. I don't think it was. They kind of gave more motivation of why, Thorn would go into this place to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, not to fight the dragon like it is in the book, but just to get the stone so he can rally up armies to fight the dragon.
Yeah.
That made more sense to me. And it kind of did the same with Gandalf. They kind of it kind of tell there was more motivation than just gain their homeland back.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked how they kind of expanded on that a little bit, because that was kind of one thing that always bugged me. It's like, so this dragon kills just about everybody that ever fought him, and you think 12 dwarves are going to do the trick.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of going to expand on that, but anyway. So, Bilbo's in here, and he accidentally wakes up the dragon, and then from there, it just, I had, chills. It was glued to the seat. Because he's just so powerful. He sounds so threatening, and everything he does just gives this great, intimidating feel, and it just scares the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And, I know Guillermo del Toro had a big part in the design of the dragon, and it clearly paid off, and it's, perfectly complements Ben Cumberbatch's performance, and just the way... We all know Cumberbatch plays a great fucking villain. He's kind of the anti-hero in Sherlock. He played Khan earlier this year, and now he just gets to delve, full-on evil vengeance mode in this movie, and it's just amazing to watch. Every time he's on screen, I was happy. Except maybe he's on there for a little too long in the third act. Yeah. But that's pretty much my only complaint about those scenes. Because how the movie, it kind of wraps up is after the dragon wakes up, and of course, obviously, we spoiled most of the movie already, but this is the big one right here, so, do as you will. But, it's basically, it's kind of the David and the Goliath story, where eventually, after trying to talk down Smaug as much as he possibly can, Bilbo eventually finally gets the hell out of there, and runs into all the other dwarves, and they basically try to find a way to get the hell out of there, or take down the dragon with them.
Actually, I think in the book, that's why he just went straight to the town, because I think he just figured Bilbo went there.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think a lot of the dialogue that Smaug says at the very end about the lake town was actually at least close to what was said in the book. Or at least it rattled some memories of that kind of thing. But I think it was something very similar. They thought they were working with the townsfolk, and they kind of had to punish them, kind of thing. But basically, after that, it becomes kind of like the David and Goliath story, where they're trying to figure out how to take down just this huge, just unstoppable opponent.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cumberbatch is just enjoying every fucking second. He's I heard he did motion capture for this, which must have been weird.
Yeah.
Considering he probably had a prosthetic tail and everything. Okay, anyway. And they eventually lead him to a forge, where they basically start tricking him into falling into all these kind of Lord of the Rings Home Alone traps. And eventually, and again, I thought it was kind of clever how they kind of trapped the dragon. Was because the main reason Smaug came down to begin with because of all the gold and all the greed and all the stuff that they found in there. And towards the very end, they basically trick him into making a giant golden statue.
Yeah.
Of the old kingdom under the mountain, and of course, it hasn't really dried yet. So they trick Smaug into looking at it just pure greed and stuff in his eyes, which again was wonderfully it's hard to make not only a talking animal like that not silly but also threatening, and the fact that he managed to pull that off is nothing short of a miracle. And of course, then he gets covered in molten lava, but it molten gold, but it effectively does nothing.
Yeah, it's if he can withstand burning himself up with his own fire, I'm pretty sure, that's not going to do much either.
Well, yeah, maybe I don't know how dragon biology works.
I was kind of laughing when he's flying off. It's just like gold flying over. It's like, look, Mommy, it's raining gold! Oh!
That's why you were laughing.
It's like I just imagine that's like his revenge. Everyone sees raining gold. They all get third-degree burns from it falling on.
Well, to be fair, that he was far away from the lake town by the time he actually did that.
Yeah.
But the movie ends with
golden showers. That was the other thing. That was the other reason I was laughing about
Really?
It was a stupid joke, and it's just like...
Because it's way better than...
Oh, gee.
we amuse ourselves. Anyway. And even the movie ends on, you and I were kind of pissed off.
Yeah, it's like... I wanted to see that dragon... I want to see a freaking dragon fight in this movie. You promised me that. And then, oh no, it's going to happen next time.
Pretty much. The movie ends on a kind of a cheesy line, but it's then a comeback, so it makes it sound still so damn cool.
Yeah.
Which is I am fire. I am death. And it sounds so...
I am Batman!
Whoosh!
How does he light a fire? God, we've milked that joke for so long.
I'm kidding, I'm putting that in a 10-hour loop. Anyway, so yeah, that's the movie pretty much in a nutshell. It's like I said, is it perfect? No, it's far from perfect. I do think it's definitely better than the first movie.
Yeah.
I think it improves in a lot of ways.
I'll admit, it's even though I didn't enjoy it as much the first, I'll admit it was done better. Because, which reminds me, there's one thing we forgot to mention, though.
Which part?
The GoPro camera and the barrels.
Oh, is that really worth mentioning that much? It bugged you more than it did me.
It would, I don't know why. It's it's not really detriment, but it's one of those minor noises that, I just couldn't shake it. It's you hear this, you see this, pristine footage of, stuff going through, this beautiful cascade, this beautiful ravine, all of a sudden, you get, this low-res footage that, you just, I don't know, it's it always...
It didn't really bother me all that much, because again, they were only for 5-second shots, not even that.
Yeah.
So it's it's not
it's not a detriment, it's just it's something if someone told me it's if it's more than a certain amount of time, it really jumps out at you, and that was kind of the case for me, I think.
Fair enough. I mean, again, I guess it's one of those things gonna bug you or it doesn't.
Yeah.
But for me, it didn't.
For me, it was more. It was the funny awkward than detrimental awkward. It's just
fair enough.
It's I think I know what they filmed last. Our budget's gone. GoPro, stick it on a thing and put it down the river.
But either way, I thought the characters were very developed in this movie. I think they did a good job of growing in the foundation that was built there, because the characters weren't very well developed in the last movie.
Well, I mean, Bilbo and
Thorin were developed well.
I felt like they shifted the focus, and admittedly, that was another kind of double-edged sword. It's they wanted to build up some of the other characters, but at the same time, it felt why? There's not really anything important going on with them.
True, but again, it's one of those things. You kind of want to know more about them. I mean, I like I don't remember any of their names necessarily, which means immediately not as memorable as the Lord of the Rings characters.
Yeah, the only ones I remember are Thorin, Bolin, Fili, and Kili.
Yeah, I like them. I thought they were good characters. I mean, obviously they're 12 fucking dwarves, so there's not even enough to develop all of them. But the ones that I thought were done well.
Yeah.
They had some good scenes together. They had some good dialogue.
Yeah.
Granted, I was kind of annoyed they went with the cliche. I don't think this was in the book, but the part where they get to the hidden door, and there's that whole scene where, the last light of day, blah, blah, blah. It's but the sun goes down before they can find the keyhole, and they lose all hope, and blah, blah, blah. And they go off in well, I guess we have to give up.
Yeah.
And they kind of do that turn, they're kind of very slowly, any second now.
Yeah.
And And it does, of course. It turns out it's the moonlight. It's like nobody else thought of that.
We're gonna wait underneath this rock until he finds the truth, and they'll just come up surprise him out of nowhere.
Pretty much. Like, it just kind of popped out of nowhere. It's like, we're back. We heard you on the Bilbo signal.
Yeah.
Sauron called us. Gandalf relayed the signal. Batman sent us a note. Anyway, we're on way too much on this joke. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like
so.
The pacing overall was, even if I felt it was relatively sluggish, it was still better overall compared to the first movie.
Yeah, I would
because
disagree.
They did a much better job from scene to scene to scene. Even if it did feel like their climax went on for about
a little too long.
Yeah, it's like a climactic scene to be no more than 20-30 minutes. This was obviously gone for an hour. It's like.
I don't think it was that long.
Okay, it felt like it. It honestly felt like
I bet it dragged on. I don't think it's quite as bad. I think you had more problems than I did.
Yeah.
But it's like overall, I think I liked the movie better than you did. But I thought this is a pretty solid fantasy movie, and I think it's a worthy success for the first Hobbit movie.
It's one of those ones where I don't regret seeing it. It could have been worse, but it all felt mildly disjointed. That's the thing I'd use to describe the movie.
In certain ways, yes, but so was the book. Not quite as much.
Yeah, because at least then it was just it went by at such a quick pace. It was okay in some regards. Whereas this is just when you stretch out longer and longer, the flaws become more readily apparent.
To be fair, though, the Lord of the Rings isn't exactly absolved from this problem either. There was, especially in Return of the King, there were sections where you completely forgot about another storyline until they brought that back up.
I didn't really I can't say for the books because I couldn't even get past the first one. But with the at least with Lord of the Rings, though, it was so damn epic that you're able to get over you're able to get over some of those issues. But
really, because I'm still mad about the whole mountain climbing scene. And you want to talk about the Smaug fight scene lasting too long? How long can fucking Sam carry Frodo up a goddamn mountain?
Yeah.
And there's only so much Frodo bitching I can take. So let's be fair here. This isn't a new problem for the series. That's my point.
Yeah, at least with what I'm saying is for Lord of the Rings, it felt more isolated than throughout.
Not really. I'm not dissing Lord of the Rings. I love the Lord of the Rings series. I watch them all every Christmas. But
yeah, because just saying, I'm the guy who sat through the extended versions, no problem.
Oh, I did too. But that being said, there's still parts of Lord of the Rings I will fast forward through.
Yeah.
Because I've seen they go on for so goddamn long.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure there are parts in The Hobbit too. That goes I'll fast forward because it goes on for so goddamn long.
Because admittedly, I do know what you mean though. Because just the ending with Return of the King in general.
Yeah, that just there's 5 different endings.
It was a double-edged sword. It wasn't you need closure, but yeah, I did go into it. But we digress.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother video.
Yeah.
So I guess we move on to trailers, and we only got 3 because they kind of fucked us over in the Godzilla trailer. But let's see. You missed the second one because I think when we talked about the 3D thing.
Because that and I've seen the trailer. I just don't care.
Fair enough.
What was the first one? Was
Jack Ryan?
Oh yeah, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
Is Shadow Recruit or Shadow Agent?
Shadow Recruit.
Oh, okay.
Because this more or less meant to be an origin story for him.
Is this gonna be a franchise? Because it looks like one of
those. Oh, it's been a franchise. Clear and Present Danger, Sum of All Fears. Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October?
Yeah, that was a Jack Ryan movie.
Seriously?
Yeah. He's been played... Oh, God, what was it? That was when Alec Baldwin was having his run. But, it was Alec Baldwin, Harrison
Wait,
Ford.
am I thinking the same movie? Is that the one with Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking A. Okay.
Yeah.
It's on there every day?
Yeah. It's part of a Tom Clancy franchise.
Huh. Okay. Now he's played by Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Played by Captain Kirk. Okay.
Yeah. Directed by the guy who directed his father in a different movie, but yeah.
Wait, J.J. Abrams did this?
No, because remember, it's director of Thor who, and remember Thor.
I was thinking Star Trek. Yep. Because Chris, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Chris Hemsworth was in Star Trek as Kirk's father.
That's why I was thinking Star Trek.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm I don't know. It looks kind of like your standard kind of action-y movie. It doesn't look any better or any worse than, say, Taken or something.
Kenneth Branagh, I have more faith in him. because I mean, as I said, he directed Thor. And apparently did a great job with Hamlet. Back.
The 1995 version.
Yeah.
Love that movie actually.
Yeah.
I don't know on DVD.
He directed that one too.
Yeah, and that was a great movie, but Thor was not nearly as good.
I'll take your word for it. Because I enjoyed Thor, although I admit that had issues.
I mean, I really like Thor too.
Great core story, stuff around it.
I mean, if nothing else, introduced us to Loki. So.
Yeah.
And he had great scenes in that movie, but I digress. Yeah. Next one we got was one you don't give a shit about. How much do I care about either, which is 47 Ronin. I don't know. It could be like one of those stylistic action movies. That could be kind of fun.
And the thing is, it's like... The best way to describe this is even more historically bastardized Last Samurai. Because this is supposed to be this is basically based on on actual events, and
yeah, but so is Anastasia. And look what happened with that.
That was still a fun movie. Disney, they know what they're doing, and if they do it...
Wait, Anastasia wasn't Disney, was it?
I thought it was.
No, it was not.
Oh, well, never mind. It was a decent animated flick.
My point is, it's based on true events, and so is The Exorcist. Okay, so
Well, here's the thing, though. They're pretty much bastardizing the actual myth and legend, because this is basically 47 Ronin. That was the equivalent to 300, to 300 Spartans at Thermopylae.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it's one of those things where, they kept taking the focus away from it. So instead of, doing what they did with, say, Last King of Scotland, the main character never existed, but he was basically our window into that realm. Mm-hmm. They are using Keanu Reeves as a story shifter. Mm-hmm. And, it was one of the things, it went from him being a gateway to the 47 Ronin to making it a fantasy story mostly about him.
Yeah, because I can tell it's going for historical accuracy when I saw him part the dragon flame with his sword.
And therein lies my issue. As I said, it's I understand having some embellishing, but this goes beyond that.
For me, I don't care enough about historical relevancy to really have that bother me.
Yeah.
Last one we got, we surprisingly only got 3 trailers in this, but it was a Grudge Match, which is the Stallone De Niro movie.
Basically, it's Raging Bull versus Rocky Balboa. And I can't remember what the guy who directed this, the writers who directed this movie, I can't remember what the heck they did. I remember I looked at the repertoire, I was just
yeah, you don't have to go see that fucking thing. I got 4 movies I gotta see on Christmas. So that's gonna be my Christmas. Next year we're gonna write a plot where we're gonna have Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future.
Spoiler alert!
We've talked about it before. It's an idea. I mean, who knows if we're actually gonna do it. But we'll see where we're at next year. But my God, we've almost been doing this for a year, haven't we?
Yeah.
My God, our anniversary's coming up next month. I gotta call Trey.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I think technically the way we're talking about the movie, you're Gandalf, I'm...
Me!
Just gotta sum up our views on this thing.
I don't think we're gonna top that. We should probably just stop right there.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's obviously you liked it more than I did, but even then it was a decent, movie. It's still better than a lot of the other crap we've seen throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? I was right there at Smurfs 2.
You poor bastard.
The things I do for you people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all we got. So let's give us a few more seconds just in case there's a time delay. I'm going to cut this out if it's not. Ew. So just chill here for a second.
So y'all have a good day and enjoy your holidays.
Welcome to Disney's Hall of Presidents.
Okay, I'm into this.